Netflix, you don't need cable. Hop on YouTube, welcome to the hood table, where we chop up local and global events vocally. You don't really wanna miss out on these conversations. Just joke a little, laugh a little, get that wine in your system, fill your glass a little. Expose current events, talk trash a little. You never know, these opinions might clash a little. They addicted to the content, got them binge watching. You don't like it, then you want invited. Bet your friends watching in the house or in your job parking lot before you clocking. They don't wanna miss a second of this HT content. Everybody think they got something to say, so it's an open invitation, bring it to the table. But if you come whack, just know we ain't buying in. We gon' probably turn your back and tell you sorry, try again. Yeah, welcome to the hood table. You don't need Netflix, you don't need cable. Yeah, welcome to the hood table. You don't need Netflix, you don't need cable.
Good morning, everyone. How's everybody doing this Saturday morning? Sorry, I'm a little late. Up here trying to figure out what's going on with my doggone phone. It then went dead on me. Ugh. Okay. This is a spur of the moment live, child. Spur of the moment live. I see a lot of things been going on, not only on YouTube, but also in the world, child. But please make sure you like and share the video on your way in. Please and thank you very much. Your girl haven't been live in a month of Sundays. Like, literally, that's how it feels. Like, I haven't been live in a month of Sundays, and I might be correct. But, yeah, please make sure you like and share the video on the way in. I just want to sit here and chit chat with you guys for a moment. We probably won't be here too long, but just do some catching up and checking in with you. I know somebody the other day, I was in somebody's live, and I'm not going to say the name, but they were like, man, would I love to hear your opinion on some of the things that's going on in the sector. And I'm like, I'm here, but I'm not here a lot. So I don't hear and see a lot. So I can't expand on a lot of the topics that's been going on or scenarios, storylines in the sector because I haven't been able to watch a lot, but I do watch, just not a lot because, my time is not as free as it used to be. What up? Hey, how you doing on the block with Reed, Big Rig Slabs? How you doing, love? I hope that you are just excited as I am about next Sunday. Not this Sunday, not tomorrow, not for morning, as they say down south, but next Sunday. Because next Sunday, we are back up in this bitch. Okay. Big Red Slaps, the hood table, from the block to the hood table. We are back. You guys. We'll be starting back on my platform and then flip-flopping every Sunday. Depending on our availability, because life be lifing. That's one thing about Riggs and I. We are grown, we have children, we have families, we have lives, we have jobs. So we know that life be lifing, but for the most part, we do usually be live every Sunday during our seasons. So we are now approaching season 3. It'll be next Sunday. It's going to be a celebration for all of our supporters, those who've been supporting us, like really supporting us, like in our chats, liking and sharing our videos, hopping on the panels, joining the topics, the discussions, adding to the conversations, our supporters. Y'all know who you are. So for those who have been supporting us and rocking out with us, we on season 3, y'all. Season 3 for a co-hosted segment on YouTube around the B sector. That's a thing, you know. That's a thing. We making that a thing, okay? We ride until the wheels fall off, okay? But yeah, I love me some Riggs, and a lot of y'all do too, and y'all love our show that we do together. So I hope you guys are looking forward to us coming back as well. Again, next Sunday, we'll be back 7 p.m. Pacific, 9 p.m. Central, as always. And again, it's going to be a supporter appreciation live. It's going to be an open panel. So, you know, the people who support us, you guys can hit the link. No topics off limit. We can discuss whatever or just hang and shoot the shit. We will be giving out, I don't want to call it prizes, but we will be giving out merch for our show. We got coffee mugs, we got tumblers, we got t-shirts, we got what's the other thing, Riz? Oh, mouse pads. We got mouse pads. You know, custom with our logo, our picture on there that we use. So our thumbnail picture that we use. So matter of fact, do I have one up here? Let me see. Hold on one second. Let's see if I can pull one out. Mouse pads. Yep, mouse pads. And I was actually thinking about maybe perhaps doing some other things, but I think that's enough. I think that's enough. But I did upload some lives, not some lives, but some shorts. It's been a minute though. But hold on, let me show you the thumbnail. Okay, that's the thumbnail. So, and here's one of the coffee mugs. So that's one of the coffee mugs. And that's the thumbnail. So this thumbnail, this picture, this AI or chat GPT, whatever it's called that I created to represent us in our show and represent some of the things that we are into. Like y'all know, Riggs is into cars and music and things like that. Recording music. I'm a custom personal cake decorator along with other things. So, you know, it kind of like incorporates some of the things that we're into. And this is the picture that's going to be on the merch, on the coffee cups, the tumblers, the mouse pads, the t-shirts. So we're going to be giving those away. I have 1 week to decide how we're going to do it. I don't know if we're going to have people pull numbers. I actually was thinking about something with Riggs. I haven't talked to you about it yet, Riggs, but I was actually also saying how well was going to do a how well do you know us? And then like throw some things out there that we might have said about ourselves, things that people should know. We ain't gonna pull nothing out the, you know, the hat that somebody gotta really guess or think on. But I was thinking about doing that, Riggs, incorporating that into uh the supporter appreciation show next Sunday. I think that would be really cool. Oh, don't forget Cash Apps. Ooh, Riggs, you about nigga. Don't forget the Cash Apps. I am going to be giving out Cash Apps as well. Not a whole lot. I ain't trying to have y'all shopping at the mall. Okay. Okay. Not a whole lot. but yeah, it's gonna be we're gonna be giving out Cash Apps too. And I think the Cash Apps section should be for like the trivia. That's what I think. But Riggs and I will discuss it. We got 1 week to go. We'll discuss just some things like because Riggs, we don't only do our show, but I've been on YouTube for over 8 years. I got multiple channels, so there's a lot of things that you guys know about me. Every now and then I get transparent. And hey, Kimberly Black. Hey, Boo. How you doing, Boo? But and Riggs, he's been around for a minute too. You know, over a year or so. Is it 2 years now, Riggs? I don't know exactly how long you've been on YouTube, like actually having a channel. But so, you know, he's talked about himself too. So there's some things that we're gonna ask you that you should know. We ain't gonna make it too easy for you, but we ain't gonna make it very difficult either. And that way, you know, you guys could, you know, try to win some money and stuff. Yep, 2 years. Mm-hmm. And shout out to speaking of YouTube channels. Oh, Kimberly, that girl. I was at work the other day And when I be at work, like when I be really working, because y'all know I had told y'all the reason why, okay, let me say the reason why I've been on hiatus, not only taking a break from Reason I Show because we take a break between every season, but I actually haven't been live a lot because every now and then we got to take breaks. And I had told y'all that I was making some career changes like 3 months ago or a couple of months ago or something like that. So there was a point when I was going live like almost every morning, and some people was like, you should do that, you should keep doing that, you should go live in the morning, you know, you got good shows, whatever. I'm like, no, this ain't gonna last. This is not gonna last. Not only do when you do those morning shows, like shout out to Jay Dunn, shout out to the people who do come live early in the morning, and please guys make sure you like and share the video. But shout out to the ones who do come live in the morning, because that's hard. Like it's hard enough getting up to go to work in the morning, but to basically come live in the morning every morning and talk about strictly B sector shit, that means you gotta watch like sometimes all through the night, because some people be up late. And then you have to take notes, and you gotta, you know, all that kind of stuff. Get up in the morning and actually sound like you want to be here. Because I done heard people say before that some people be up in the morning sounding like they sleep, sounding like they don't want to be there, sounding like, you know, you gotta really be into that morning shift. So shout out to the people who be coming live in the morning. Shout out to y'all. But yeah, so that was not gonna last. And so because of my career changes, my schedule is different. So I definitely can't go live in the mornings through the week like I was at one point in time. But I was at work the other day speaking about Catherine's. I mean, not Catherine, because we're going to get on Catherine. Not a lot. I'm just going to chit chat with y'all about some shit that I've been seeing in the sector. But child, Kimberly Black, I was at work the other day, and sometimes when I'm at work, I be listening to my throwback hip hop, like the 2000s, the 90s, and that song came on, girl, while I was in my seat. I mean, you know the whole dance to the song. You know the dance to the song. Meet Me in the Mall, It's Going Down by Young Jock. I was in my seat and I was just bouncing, and somebody walked past me. They was like, "What you listening to?" Oh, that's crazy. That's crazy. But that's one of my all-time favorite songs. Ooh, party songs. That's a great party song. Have your ass bouncing and dancing and shit. But anyway, yeah. So a few things that I wanted to talk about. I wanted to get that out the way from the Block to the Hood table. We're back next Sunday, season 3. It's gonna be a supporter appreciation show. Come one, come all, especially if you are a supporter. Then after next Sunday, we'll be back at Riggs and flip-flopping like we normally do between both shows. But one of the things that I had seen in the news before I get into some of the sector shit was the thing that's going on with that young man, that teenage boy, young man, Nolan Wells, which I'm sure the whole world knows about right now, or they know at least little bits and pieces of that. I just want to send my heartfelt thoughts and prayers to that family, because what they are going through right now, I can't even imagine. I honestly cannot imagine. I cannot imagine my child that I birthed, that I carried and labored over and raised, and you know, you send your children out into the world, and then for them not to come back home, and they left with people who they are friends with. Like, that shit is so crazy to me, what's going on with this family right now. And I'm glad that people are advocating for them. They got one of the best attorneys, you know, being, what's his name, Crump. Excuse me. They got one of the best attorneys. I heard Jay Dunn say the other day. She said, why we act like Ben Crump is the only attorney that people can get when it comes to black people? But he's really good, and it's so crazy because I was actually searching for something to watch maybe about 3 to 5 business days ago. And I think it was on Netflix, and it was a Ben Crump documentary. I've never seen it, never knew there was a documentary about him. And so I sat and watched it, and it was actually pretty good. I sat and watched it. The documentary tells how, he was raised. He comes from a very, very, I don't want to say poor, but because we was poor when we was grown. When I was growing up, we was broke child, but very modest upbringing. They didn't have a lot. Uh, and his he was talking about his grandparents, his parents, how he was raised, his colleges, what he did, before he started getting into, being a attorney, a lawyer, and it was very interesting. Very interesting. It was very, very interesting. Now, when I was watching that, I wouldn't have had any idea that maybe 4 or 5 days later, I would hear that he's heading this team of prosecution, for this family. But I also been hearing a lot of things that's coming out lately when it's regarding Nolan Wells about, the guys that he went on the trip with. Just recently, a video surfaced of him fighting with these said friends. And I also been hearing that, they first said that they left him there because he didn't want to come back. Then I heard that he wanted to take another boat. Then I heard that there was a girl over there he was trying to holler at, and that's why he stayed. And then they came back with his phone. Like, that right there tells me everything I need to know. But I'm going to keep my eyes and ears on this court case because I'm going to be following this case. But that right there tells me, oh, child, somebody leaves a phone with you and you just take it, and you know that there is no Wi-Fi, no internet, no TV, no on this little old island, and you take your homeboy's phone and bring it back with you and leave the homeboy on the island with no way to contact his family, his parents, law, or anything like that if they need to. And what up, problem solver? How you doing, boo? With no way to contact anybody for emergency. That tells me everything that I need to know right there. It really does. It tells me everything I need to know right there. And I know in times like these, the first thing you want to do as a parent is go whoop somebody ass. Because I know, child, when I used to go up for mine, I told y'all how I was, I was about to say suspended, but how I was banned from all high school games, athletic events for 3 months. There was a point in time when I was banned, not from my son's school, but from all the high schools in the district for 3 months. Cause child, an incident had happened with my oldest son, and child, it was a whole scene. I was getting dragged out by the cops and everything. I mean, not the cops, the security guards and everything. It was bad. It was bad. It was a whole bunch of shit. A whole lot of us parents had some issues with some of the coaches at this school, and it was on and popping. One day after a basketball game, it was on and popping, and then I was banned. But yeah, I would ride for mine. I done jumped in fights with my sons. My oldest son got jumped one time, and I just happened to be walking up to him to pick him up from somewhere, and two dudes literally jumped him in front of my face. I kicked off my shoes, I dropped my bags, and I ran up and jumped in. And we was all banging. We was all banging. And these were some big niggas too. Some big niggas. But yeah, we was all banging. And then after that, I called his dad. I told them to call their parents. And we all can continue this shit. Okay? But yeah, I ride for mine. I really do. And I don't care what age they are. I don't, from the crib to the from how they say, from the cradle to the grave. You know, some people ain't got kids like I do, or like a lot of y'all do, who you will ride for from the cradle to the grave. Some people out here got some kids you won't even. I know a couple of people right now who got some kids. They could be starving, hungry, stranded, and they be like, "Fuck them kids," because some people's kids, you can do everything that you're supposed to do and raising them right and protecting them, providing, nurturing, all that kind of stuff, and they still grow up and they be assholes. I have seen it with my own eyes. I know people with kids that were or is bad as the fuck. And you be like, I know your mama. I know they didn't raise you like that. Why are you like this? Kids who try to fight their parents because they can't have their way. See, that's a whole nother type of, you know what I'm saying? But my kids will fight for me. I will fight for them, and I will fight for them, especially when I know they are in the right. Okay? But with this particular situation right here, I know as a mother, if I was to see them boys, I'd probably try to dog walk their asses. Like, what the fuck did you do to my son? Nolan, aka No. That is his nickname that his family and friends call him. They refer to him by No. And I thought that was so cute. When I first heard that, my nickname is Poo Poo. And I done said this before. I didn't even have family members come on my motherfucking StreamYard and they refer to me as that. I'm like, they don't know me as that. I'm the hood table, bitch. Don't be coming over here talking about Boo Boo. That's my one cousin, Poo Boo. And that's exactly how he say it to this day. He's one of my oldest cousins. And to this day, Poo Poo, what you doing? What you doing, girl? But yeah, they call him No. And I'll be over there, like, and then the thing about it is, you know, I was watching, who was I watching? I was watching T.S. Madison the other day and Craig, you know, for Fact Talk. And a lot of y'all, you know, watched them. But they were playing some TikTok videos of some white people advocating for this black family and for Nolan. And there was one white guy in particular who said he has a black son. You know, he's biracial. And he said even with his black biracial son, he says he always tells his son, everybody ain't like me, son. He said every white person you meet is not like me. They are not caring. They don't treat people equally. They don't, you know, he said a lot of the white people out here, just because I'm white and your father and I take care of you and I love you and I love black people and everybody, there's a lot of people who look like me. And he was holding his hand. You know how we do when we be doing the flip side, you know, with our hands and shit. And he was like, there are people out there like me who don't give a fuck about you. And they ain't gonna care that your daddy white. And there was other white people on TikTok who was advocating, like, those white family members, they need to make their sons, you know, take accountability. I am very happy to see a lot of people, Caucasians, who are standing up and advocating for this young black man. There are a lot of, like we say, there are a lot of bad cops. There are a lot of good cops. Some of them bad apples, you know, same with white people. There are a lot of good people who are white and a lot of bad people who are white. But you never know until you know. So I was hearing some people talking about blaming the parents. I don't think that's fair. And let me read your comment, Kimberly. You said it's hard to advocate for your children when they are out of the country and at the mercy. Thank you. It's hard to advocate for your children when they are out of the country and at the mercy of strangers. And as far as I heard, he had been on them trips with them white boys before. So I don't know how close they are. I don't know if they are friends, like buddies, like, you know, like really cool, or if they just somebody he went to school with. Hey, we're going on a trip. You want to come? Hey, can I go? You know, I don't know, but they said that he had been on trips with them before. But for the people who are talking about blaming it on the parents, I don't think that's right. I don't think that's right because as parents, okay, let me just say me. When my kids was growing up, we lived in the hood. I still do. I was raised in the hood. I'll probably die in the hood. But I always raise my children to be nice, be kind, be understanding. Um, but defend yourself if need be. Don't be no fool. Don't your mom. You know, people say my mama ain't raised no fool. Okay, don't be nobody fool. Don't let nobody take no advantage of you. But I also taught them to treat everybody how they want to be treated. And they had white friends. They had white friends. I remember when they was younger, we stayed in this neighborhood and there was this one little white boy and he was bad as the fuck. But I always allowed him over my house along with the rest of the kids because everywhere we moved, I didn't give a fuck which block in the hood we moved to because we moved a lot, you know, when they was growing up. And people just always, you know, found their way to our house. Playing with my kids outside, inside, riding bikes, football, basketball, video games. You know, we were just that type of family that, you know, people like to be around. And so, and I'm very, you know, I'm very cool, but also like strict at the same time. But, you know, all their friends love me. They got old friends now that they ain't seen in years. They still see me in the street. What up, mom? What up, mom, dudes? You know, and so I was very welcoming and inviting to their friends as long as they act like they got some goddamn sense. Okay, I ain't gonna hit you. I ain't gonna put my hands on you and spank you and shit like that, like they used to do back in the day. But I'm gonna send your ass off, give you a little stern talk to 1, 2. You know, and so this little white boy, he was just being bad and he was cussing. And my kids, I didn't raise them to cuss. You can't curse. None of the kids on my house. You can't curse. Don't steal. Don't run through my house. Don't tear up my shit. When they friends come over, y'all know the rules. Yes, ma'am, we know the rules. Okay, okay. Because if my kids ain't gonna do it, y'all ain't gonna do it. But he was just cussing up a storm one day, and I told his little ass, I said, "Don't you ever come back over my house again." And I mean that shit. And so he left mad, upset, because he just couldn't cuss like he wanted to. And I doubt that he really cussed like that around his family and parents. I think he was just trying to, I don't know, he was just a little over the top. I don't know why. And so maybe a week or so later, the little boy come banging on my door, not banging, but knocking on my door. Can I please talk to you? And I was like, what's up? And he just sat there and just pleaded and pleaded and apologized because he wanted to come back over our house and play with everybody else in the neighborhood and my boys at the crib. And I accepted his apology. He ran outside and started playing basketball with the kids and everybody else. And my kids are still friends with that boy today. They had a lot of white friends. And they used to go over their house. They would come over our house. So for the people out there blaming the black parents on his death, like that makes no fucking sense to me. Now I understand raising like the white guy who was on TikTok talking about his biracial son. He was like, I'm not black, but I raised him to know and be alert and be aware that everybody out there is not a cool person like I am, his father who is white, you know. And he was like, I raised him and talked to him, his mother, you know, talked to him about the police, about this, about that, being in wrong places. But when you have a child and they have these friends, not one of my kids' friends would I think would do harm to them. None of the ones I know. But when they were growing up, I was raised, I ain't gonna say raised in the streets, but I was in the streets a lot. I'm from the hood. A lot of my family did all type of things growing up. So I know a lot. I saw a lot and I learned a lot. So just like anybody would, tell their kids, beware of this, beware of that. When you see somebody hanging out with your kids and you know they ain't the good fit for your kids, or you know that they are, there is somebody. Okay, let me say this. One day my son came over because they both grown on their own, and one day my youngest son Cam Boogie came over. He was like, "Mom, do you know this person?" And I was like, "Yeah, I know this person." He said, "They said I'm his cousin." And I said, "Well, technically not by blood, but we was really cool with the family, and I was really cool with his parents growing up, and so we used to call each other sisters, and y'all used to call each other cousins. But he hasn't seen them in years, so he don't even remember the boy." And so I was like, "Yeah, but I don't want you hanging around him." Now this is my grown. This was about a couple of months ago. My grown ass son Cam, the youngest one. I said, "I don't want you hanging around him." I used to do the same thing when they was little. No, they no. I don't feel like they no bad influence. And so he was like, "Mom, why the dude seem cool?" And I just got to talking and explaining, and a lot of shit that I know from the guys past. A lot of being in trouble. You know. And I also told him, "But you are grown and you can make your own decisions, but don't ever." That's one thing I always told my kids too. When I tell you something, don't ever say I didn't tell you. Don't ever say I didn't tell you. And so he hit me up a little while later after that, talking about the dude had asked him to do something or go somewhere. I was like, I'm telling you, I'm trying to told you, I'm trying to tell you. And he was like, "All right, Mom, I'm gonna take your advice. I'm gonna take your advice." But when your kids are hanging around people that you think are good for them or they real friends and stuff, you don't never think or foresee that that friend is going to get them in trouble or leave them, abandon them, or harm them. So I think it's pretty unfair that some people are out there talking about it's the parents' fault. Why would they let that boy go anywhere with those white rich people? I don't think that's right. It's too soon. We don't even know all the details. We don't even know all the details on the relationship with these boys. We don't know how close they were. We don't know how long they known each other. There's a lot of things that are still up in the air right now, and a lot of things are going to come out in court. A lot, and I hope that the end result is that the family gets justice. Because if them boys didn't do anything, they still know what happened if somebody else did something. Then I also heard the boy said somebody said the boy could swim or some shit. I don't know. I don't know. Me personally, I can't swim. I'm not getting in no boat. I'm not getting in no boat. I'm not getting in no river boat. I'm not getting in no motor boat. I'm not getting in a boat. Shit, I don't know if I'll ever get on a ship because I can't swim and I'm terrified of water. I almost drowned 3 times growing up. I'm scared of water. But that's all I want to say on that. I truly, my auntie, one of my aunties, she had posted something on Facebook the other day. And my auntie, she lost her son. Um, I don't know exactly when it was, but maybe a couple of years. Maybe like 2, 3 years ago, my auntie lost her son. And every now and then she'll post something on Facebook, throwback pictures or her thoughts, because when people die, we grieve forever. Forever. It may not be as bad as when the person first passed away. Like my mother passed in 2015. Every now and then, I grieve and I have flashbacks and get sad. It was an incident like maybe a couple of months ago, and matter of fact, I had uploaded the video. Okay, so there's a video I had uploaded when I was hanging out with my cousins at a club because one of my cousins run a bar. He's like manages a bar or whatever. And we was hanging out. And then after that, we was like, let's go back over here to cousin TT house. You know, we sitting out there. My brother rolled up, my youngest brother rolled up, and he started talking about some old shit. I don't want to hear that shit. And it was in May. May is the month of my mother's birth. It is the Mother's Day, and it's the month of her death. And I just broke down. I was like, I don't want to hear that shit, nigga. And they was like, damn, it is May. That's a hard month for me. So people grieve. Some people grieve forever, and some people grieve differently than others. But my auntie, who lost her son a couple of years ago, she had posted something the other day. And she said, as a mother who has lost a son, I pray that whatever the truth is, the family is told so that they can move forward. At least I knew what happened with my son. I can't imagine having everyone standing around, shrugging their shoulders while I seek desperately needing answers to my questions. And my auntie continued on saying, may Nolan rest peacefully with God, and may this family find comfort in truth. And that's what my auntie posted on Facebook a couple of days ago. So again, I can't imagine the loss of a son. I posted that under my auntie's post. I said I can't imagine, the loss of a child. I can't imagine the pain from the loss of a child. But in this situation right here is very suspect. And I pray that the family finds answers and closures. I really do. And as a parent, I'm telling you, I would be, boy, if I could, sometimes we think ahead and we have these feelings and we want to just fuck somebody up, knowing we need to stay outside of the jail because we have to advocate, for our loved ones. But it can be hard because I can imagine what's going through, man, any one of my kids, my grandbaby, any one of them. When my grandbaby come over and he got a little scratch or something on him anywhere or little mark or something, I'll be calling his parents. When did this happen? What is this from? Mom, he jumped out his bed. Mom, he did this. Mom, he's crazy. He just runs around the house. Mom, I'm like, oh, okay. I'm checking. I'm advocating. The same thing I would do when y'all were younger. If y'all came from somebody's house and y'all had a scratch or something like that, I used to do that. What happened? Don't let it be with their dads or something. What happened? So, you got to advocate for your children. And I'm glad this family is not taking this shit lightly at all. They got one of the best attorneys out there, Mr. Crump. Okay. Hopefully he'll get Crump on their asses and find out the truth and all the details. There were a lot of people out there. So I'm hoping that people, they captured a video of them fighting or getting into it or having an altercation, something about a girl, and I don't know. But I'm hoping that they'll get down to the bottom of it, okay? Now, that's enough of the social media as far as like trending news. I know the other day I was watching what was I watching? I was watching Cruiser. Child. Now, again, when I say I've been here, but I haven't seen everything, I really haven't. So I haven't seen everybody's videos. Sometimes I watch somebody who's discussing another thing. And so that's where I get my tea. But somebody had told me, I was in their chat and they was like, child, we should get out here and talk about the Catherine Powell shit. And I was like, I don't really know everything. I just know that she's exposing something about a pastor. I heard that she was homeless. I heard that she was in a facility. I heard that somebody's calling the facility and reporting her, and that she's on YouTube, on social media. And I was like, you can't be in a a facility or nursing home or something like that, rehab, and can't be on social media. I didn't understand that. But then I was like, let me get on over here and listen to some of what Catherine's talking about, because I heard Cruiser say in one of her videos from yesterday, I think, she was telling Catherine, don't be tagging her in some bullshit. And I was like, what the fuck is going on now? So I went over to Catherine Powell's page, y'all. I went over to Catherine Powell's YouTube channel, and I'm over there like trying to figure out what's going on and what video is Cruiser talking about. And so I came across the video, but then as I was going further down the community wall post, I see all these posts about Catherine exposing the Reverend Dr. Alan Waller and the wife, who she's accusing of being a mistress, or the pastor had a mistress, and so I'm reading all that and I'm like, wow, we really exposing right now. The thing about the church sector, which Cruiser sometimes, I think she be playing around. I don't know if she really do or not, but she calls it the what does she call it? The church beef sector or something like that. But they be having more shit going on than people in the B sector, child. They be having, and if you were ever raised in church, especially one of those good old Holy Ghost stomping, non-denominational, Pentecostal, Koji, child, if you was raised in any type of those environments, then you know them. Let me keep it hood, okay? Let me take a sip of this coffee real quick. That's getting cold, and make sure you're liking and sharing the girl's video. Child, this coffee done cooled all the way down. Now I might as well throw some ice in this bitch and have iced coffee. But them motherfuckers in church, I did a couple of videos myself. in the past about I even interviewed some people in the past who wanted to come on my show and expose pastors here in our community. I talked about a pastor here in our community who was married to a woman of many, many years, and they got kids and everything, and he was running one of the biggest churches in the O, and he started having an affair with his wife's best friend. The best friend was in a circle that I'm in, and so everybody knew the business, everybody knew the tea. He was fucking with his wife's best friend. And this crazy thing is, you know how pastors and their wives, they have like what they call like armor bearers or something like that. Basically, the pastor, the men, they have people to, I don't want to say tend to their needs, but kind of like they're there to protect them. They help them when they travel. They might help them get their shit together, whatever, for church. They carry around pistols. You know what I'm saying? And then the first lady has a lady as well who does things for her. I can't remember the exact name. It's like armor bearer, something like that. And that's who this mistress was to the first lady. And they became like really, really good best friends. The bestest of friends. And come to find out, her best friend was fucking her husband, who's one of the biggest pastors in the city, right? Then come to find out, we learn more after that this pastor who hails from New York, he had been pastoring churches all the way from New York to the O, and basically was having similar situations at each church. So, not only was he sleeping with his wife's best friend, but afterwards, they separated. The wife and the husband and first lady separated. This was tea, child. When I tell y'all this was tea in our city, everybody was talking about it. I mean, all the Facebook groups, everybody was talking about it. And the girl, the mistress, the best friend, she's on Facebook trying to defend herself subtly. Like, People ain't gonna keep coming for me. I'm grown. Ain't nobody forcing nobody. Shit like that. Then next thing you know, they start posting pictures together. So it wasn't just a rumor or a gossip. It became really real in front of social media, people in our community. Because before, people was like, nah, this pastor ain't did no shit like that. Then we find out his story. Child, I did shows on it. I was very vocal about this shit. Very vocal about this shit when this shit was going on. Next thing you know, they on trips. They recording their trips. They on vacations. They lovey-dovey. They hugged up. He had her shit. She had her. I mean, the wife, she done moved out of town. Child. I think down to Florida or somewhere. She moved out of town. And now the pastor is with they married now. They married now, but this shit right here, nigga, like I say, the church is the messiest. We can be as messy as the fuck in these B sectors, the Black T sector, the Mo 3 I mean, all these damn sectors. We can be messy as the fuck, but ain't nobody messy like church people. This motherfucking pastor was fucking his wife's best friend. The best friend attended the church. It wasn't like she was at another church or, like she attended the church. Be up in the pews praying and speaking in tongues and yes, pastor, preach, pastor. All that kind of bullshit. And he was sleeping with the wife's best friend who was attending the same church. And so then they got divorced. But before they got divorced, because that don't happen quickly, the pastor kept sleeping around with the mistress. They started going public with it. They were dating for years. So the pastor cheats on his wife. The mistress attends the church. The first lady moves out of town. She just leaves the city altogether, moves out of town. Now they're just publicly flaunting their relationship, still dating. So not only did the pastor commit adultery, he also was fornicating for years. They was together dating for at least a good 5 years. Him and the mistress, who is now his girlfriend. They were dating for at least 5 years. And he's still pastoring a church. And then finally, after this shit really hit the fan, I guess the church people, the board or whatever, they was like, we can't do you anymore. So his ass left the church here. Mind you, he hails from New York, then bounced around from church to church to church all the way till he got here with the same similar storyline of scandals. And now he's in California. Yep, he's in Cali. Running a big church out there with his wife, who was his ex-wife's best friend, the mistress. So now I guess they're living happily ever after in Cali. I ain't even gonna say the church name because some of y'all live in Cali. And y'all ain't about to be telling that pastor and somebody from the Omaha on the hood table over there talking about your ass, because they might not know. Like, we people here in our city, we didn't know that he was having all these scandals before he got here. Like, how many churches it's like a bad cop or a bad teacher who didn't have some scandals, and they go from one precinct to another precinct to another precinct. Even some of them being out of town, different states. Same with teachers. They have a scandal. Them priests. Let's not get on the priests. And what up, Room Shaker? How you doing, boo? That was one of my topics, Room Shaker. I don't know if you want to hit the link later. I don't know if you're even still in here, but I was gonna get to you in a minute. The shit with you and Nika, I was like surprised about that shit. I don't know what's going on because I'm here, but I'm not here. Okay, I see a little bit here and there, but yeah, just like them priests, they be fondling and messing around with them little boys, and then they just ship them off to another. What do they call them? Not churches. What do they call them? What the Catholic call them? Them places, them buildings. I forget. I don't know. But y'all know what I'm talking about. So the church is so messy. Has always been messy. Will always be messy. It's always gonna be scandaling and cheating and People touching on kids, affairs, thievery, all kind of shit. I done seen it all growing up. I know people who had the R word done to them in the basement of one of the churches I've been to. I told y'all a story when I was a little girl and I had to use the restroom, and I was probably about 6 or 7 maybe, and my mother would let me go to the restroom by myself all the time. Went downstairs to the restroom doing church service, and one of my friend's older brothers was in the corner down there in the dark jacking off at church, just stroking himself. And you know what? He just wasn't stroking himself. He was trying to entice me. I looked over and I seen him. Well, actually, I heard him because I didn't see him in the dark at first. And he was like, psst, psst, come here, come here. And I turned and looked, and I saw this thing hanging out in his hand, out of his pants. And mind you, I'm like 6, 7. I don't know nothing about sex. I really don't know a lot about body parts at that age. I didn't know what he was doing, but I knew it was wrong. And the way he was looking at me and the way he was acting, the hairs on the back of my neck stood up. And fuck that bathroom. I would piss on myself in the pew before I would go into that bathroom because he was right across from the bathroom in the dark. I ran myself back up the church, my little church shoes, my ponytails bopping up and down, and my little church dress on, and ran all the way. I mean, I booked it. I ran so fast, I'm surprised I didn't fall and bust my mouth wide open. That's how fast I ran. And I ran back up in the pew and jumped on my mama's lap, child. 6, 7. I was a big girl, 6, 7. And jumped on her lap, and she's like, what the fuck? She didn't cuss, but she was like, what's wrong with you, Pooh? I'm just shaking. I didn't even know. I didn't understand what had happened. I didn't even know how to put it in words. And then church service was still going on. People singing and shouting and tamarines and all this kind of shit. And all I'm thinking about is this man downstairs in the corner in the dark, my friend's brother. So as we was growing up, I always thought that, something was creepy or off with the family. And so later in life, I had also told you a story about how somebody else in that family had caught up in some crimes. The brother, the one who tried to entice me in the basement, one of their sisters was married to a guy who unalived a little girl who was like 7. I told y'all that story. Now these is all people from church. All people from church. The lady was the godmother of her best friend's daughter. And she kept her one night, and her husband, the lady's husband, said, if you want to continue being with me, you're going to allow me to be with you and your goddaughter. And the lady, this is what she claims, that she was like, oh, hell no, fuck you. She claimed she got mad. She claimed she said no. She claimed this and that. And she also claimed she left. She got so mad that she left the little girl, her goddaughter, her best daughter's friend, in the room, in the bed with her husband. And she got mad because of what he wanted, and she left. That's what she claimed. She claims when she came back, her husband was pleading with her and crying and, baby, I don't know what happened. And she was like, what the fuck you talking about? And she ran upstairs to the room and saw the little girl wrapped up in a sheet, dead. The man had done everything, and when I say everything, to that little girl that he should not have done. Everything. Every orifice that he could enter, everything. It's all documented. Look up Asa Carter. It's all documented. It's on Google. The whole court file. He R'd her, and then when she kept screaming, because obviously it was painful, he smothered her with a pillow. After that, these are church people, y'all. After that, she and him, because she was scared. She was like, what the fuck? She didn't know what to do. And of course, after he did what he did to the little girl, Now, I'm not standing up for her, but she did say she was scared because he threatened to do something with her. That could have been true. But for as far as her really leaving him with the girl, or as far as her really being there with him and the girl, I don't know how much of that to believe, because I can't understand somebody leaving a child with their husband after their husband said he wants to sleep with the child. I would have took that child and we would have ran for the hills. And I ain't coming back. That's what I would have done. I would never leave a child. If I know this grown ass man wants to have sex with my 7-year-old goddaughter, and you claim you just left because you were mad and upset, no. But anyway, she came back, claims he threatened her to help get rid of the body, and they took the body. Now they was living in the projects. They was living in the projects. The projects was called what was the real name what was the real name of the projects? Fontenelle. Yeah, okay. The project was called Fontenelle, but they had a nickname, which was Vietnam, because there was a lot of violence there, a lot of crimes, a lot of gang activity, a lot of murders. They called it Vietnam. That's the name of the projects. Yeah, Kimberly Black. Look, you can look up the story, child. Look up the story. But they lived in the Vietnam projects. They took the little girl, wrapped up in a sheet, whatever, and dumped her. And you know the big dumpsters for companies, for restaurants, the projects, you know, the apartment buildings, the big dumpsters. Dumped her in a big dumpster with the mattress and everything. Then the wife called her best friend talking about the little girl got upset because she wanted to go home and she ran out the house. She lied to her best friend and said, your daughter ran off. Did she come home? And the mother's like, no, she didn't come home. So, of course, she immediately calls the police and the investigation begins. Now, the wife is the sister of the man who tried to entice me in church, in a Pentecostal church when I was 6 or 7. So at that age, I always thought something was off about that family. Then to find out years later, the sister helped cover a crime for her husband. Like, child, when I say church people are the messiest people, yes, they are. So the things that Catherine is talking about, be it true or not, Catherine Powell, the things that, you know, everybody's talking about, that she's spilling tea on the pastors. And I went over there, like I said, Cruiser had said something the other day about to Catherine Powell. She said, quit tagging me and post on your page. So I went over there to see what she was talking about, a video or whatnot. And that's when I saw Catherine over there. She's over there just it's a whole expose over there on her page. Every post is about a pastor, about affairs, a mistress, shit like that. But it doesn't surprise me. It doesn't surprise me that, you know, and some people are thinking Catherine, she's out of her mind, she's making shit up, she's, you know, just stuff like that. It could be true. All of that thing she's talking about could be true. It could be true. Pastors are the biggest liars and scammers out here. Out here. They sleep with people in the church. They have affairs. They fuck around with the kids in the church. They do all kind of shit. All kind of shit. And then we'll stand up on Sunday and try to tell you about your motherfucking demons. About you smoking and drinking or clubbing or having sexual relationships, situationships. They will preach the church down and have you throwing money all in the offer plate, joining the church and all that kind of shit, while they doing everything under the sun that ain't godly at home. Okay, so some of the stuff she could be talking about could be true, but I don't know. I don't like to get caught up in too much shit like that. When I'm not there, I don't know what really happened. You know, when I do commentary on here, it's usually things that I've actually know about for sure. Or things on in social media or on the news or even shit around here in the sector. I talk about what I hear and see. You know, what I saw. I don't just be making up storylines or, you know, shit like that. I just talk about what I hear and what I see. And, you know, so I don't know. It's entertaining, I guess. But somebody asked me. Somebody said to me, "I wish you would go live and discuss." Matter of fact, they also said, and I don't want to say who said it though. I like that person. I support that person. There ain't nothing like that. I'm just don't want to. So, they also said that I know you don't do, or I don't think you do commentary on this shit anymore. They was talking about B sector shit, and they said, but I would love if you would to hear your opinion. And it's not that I don't do commentary on B sector anymore. It's just that life be lifing, and every now and then we take breaks. Every now and then we take breaks. Ain't nothing wrong with taking a break. And please make sure y'all like and share the video, please and thank you. But there's nothing wrong with taking a break. Like every now and then, y'all will see me on here. I'll be live every day, every morning, every evening. Just live discussing shit, whether it's something on social media, TV show, B sector shit, whatever, or my real life. But then there are times, if you've been following me long enough, there are times where I would go 2, 3, 4, 6 months without discussing the B sector at all or anything. And sometimes I don't do that because either life is lifing or there's nothing really that interesting going on that I wanted to discuss. So, and it was kind of like that for a while. So it wasn't that I didn't want to touch any B sector shit, but it was like, it wasn't all that. That's why I say sometimes I'm here watching. I'm not going to be one of those people. I've never been one of those people say, I don't watch. I watch in my spare time. And if I do hear something interesting, I'll watch. And of course, if some of my faves go live, I'll watch. I might not always drop down, but I do watch. I just don't see everything. But from the shit that I have been seeing over the past 2, 3, 4 months or whatever, a lot of it I was like, I don't really want to talk about that. So I just been doing a lot of uploading. Matter of fact, there's a video I got to upload. I keep forgetting. I just had a big order from a client the other day. Not the other day. They placed this order months ago for their grandson's birthday, which is the party's today. Actually, the party's today. They came yesterday and picked up all this shit, but that they ordered. They ordered a lot of shirts, custom shirts. The theme is cars, and they ordered a lot of shirts. They ordered like 20 custom gift bags, 20 custom chip bags, 20 custom Capri Sun pouches, and then a lot of t-shirts like the mom of the birthday boy, grandpa of the birthday boy, uncle, auntie, little auntie, big auntie, little cousin, mom, nana. They ordered a whole bunch of shirts, all with the same theme. So they just picked that up yesterday. Matter of fact, let's see if I can. Let me pull my phone. Let me show you one of the ones that I did. Let's see if I can. Ooh, child. Yeah, this is so cute. Hold up. And then somebody hit me up last night trying to get a last minute order in. I'm like, child. Every now and then I do take last minute orders. Of course, there's like an upcharge, but I do every now and then take last minute orders. But the lady wanted some, and I had done matter of fact, I did a video like a short, maybe a month or so ago. Life Jennings was here in concert for Juneteenth. Yeah, that was about a month ago. Yeah, Life Jennings was here in concert for Juneteenth, and a chef, a very popular caterer in our community, had hit me up last minute. I mean, when I say last minute, I'm talking about like midnight last minute, and asked me could I make her a couple extra shirts that she need for her staff because they're gonna be serving Life Jennings at the Juneteenth concert. Now, but not only because she's cool and one of my favorite cooks, in the hood, but Life Jennings, bitch, hell yeah. And so I made her some shirts last minute, had them ready for her. I started working on them immediately. So every now and then I do last minute stuff for people, but she wanted some stickers to go on some condiment bottles that she need last minute for today. And I was like, I don't do sticker labels. I don't even do my own sticker labels. I order those. Why do I order them? Because they're more cost effective, or whatever you want to call it, for my money. It's so cheaper, just like business cards. I could make my own business cards, but it's more cost effective for me to order from a larger manufacturer. I mean, it just is. Now, when it comes to t-shirts and custom cake decorating that I do and other party favors that I do, yeah, but when it comes to something like that with like, I don't know, sticker labels and stuff like that, is just more cost effective for me to order out my own business cards. So that's that. But here, I'm gonna show you this picture real quick. Let's see. I hope I don't have too many pictures on this StreamYard, because sometimes you can have too many pictures on the StreamYard and you got to start deleting stuff. Let's see. Oh, here's one I made for my grandsons. That's one of the tumblers. By the way, for the people who are supporters of From the Block to the Hood table, when we have our supporter appreciation day next Sunday, Riggs and I, that's one of the things we're going to be giving away is tumblers with our logo, our picture on it, our thumbnail. So that's just shows you a little bit of what I do. But most of you already know a lot of stuff that I do. But anyway, let me go ahead and delete that and add the picture of the shirt. Now I made several shirts for the mom of the birthday boy, but they had requested an all over sublimation shirt as well. So this is the all over sublimation shirt that I did. And then I also did a shirt for her, for the mom, that looks kind of, like everybody else's shirts. But this is the all over sublimation shirt. So this is one of the shirts I made for the mom of the birthday boy. So this is the video that I got to upload, when I get off of here. But they picked their order up yesterday. Again, they ordered a lot of shirts. They ordered a lot of custom chip bags, gift bags, custom Capri Sun pouches. And I made this one specifically custom for the mom of the birthday boy. So as you can see, it's an all over shirt. So I don't know if y'all know about all over sublimation shirts, but you basically, the entire shirt is designed. Not just a picture on the shirt, not just a design on the shirt, like in the middle of the shirt, but all over. That means the sleeves, that the whole shirt. That's an all over custom shirt. And then here's a picture of some of the shirts, all of the other shirts, actually. So you see uncle, nana, mom, and there's some underneath, like little cousin over there, little big auntie, regular auntie. Those are, the shirts right there. And then there's the one that I made for the mom. So as you can see, those look different than the other shirts. So yeah. But anyway, so I gotta upload that video. So I was just saying that I've been doing a lot of uploading of my crafts, my cakes, my custom party favors, t-shirts, things like that. So I haven't been live in a minute. Just cause life be lifing, and just with my new career move, I've been working a lot of hours, a lot of training. Sometimes my mind is fried. Once I get home, all I want is to make me a drink and go to bed. Like literally. I've been in training for weeks and weeks and weeks, and I still got weeks and weeks and weeks to go. But so yeah, life been life, and so that's why I haven't been doing a lot of live videos either. But I was watching with who was it? TMO. She did, her and Ro did the court I forgot what they call it. Court what is it? It's court something. But who was on the docket? ODS was on the docket. And I was like, why is ODS on the docket? ODS ain't been live in a month of Sundays, just like me. I heard he done moved, he done relocated. I think he got a new job, and shout out to him, doing things, moving and all that, whatnot. He done moved to a different state, and that's kind of hard, to move to a different state. I would love to do that one day, maybe retirement age, but moving to it, you got to be really, really strong and have a good mindset, and to trust yourself to move to another state. That's big. That's so much bigger than moving around the block or moving out the hood, to another area in your city or something like that. So shout out to him. I hope all is well with ODS. But ODS was on the docket, and I'm like, why is ODS on the docket? ODS ain't even really been here, or has he? Because like I said, I haven't watched everything. But come to find out, he was on the docket because somebody was accusing him of abandoning his supporters or something like that, not going live, not being around, some. And ODS was out there like, they was like, what do you got to say for yourself? I'm like, damn, they put him on the docket because he been lifing. Child, if that's the case, a lot of us need to be on the docket. Hey Noble, what's up? What up, though? How you doing? Long time no see. But yeah, oh yeah, make sure you guys like and share the video, please and thank you. If you want to donate to the platform, $sign the hood table 402. But yeah, so they had him on the docket, and he was basically like, I've been moving, working, whatever, changes going on in his life. We gotta take breaks every now and then, regardless if it's for your career, children, life, or you just want to take a mental break from. A lot of people don't know how or just can't take a mental break from YouTube. They just can't. And we see it all the time. People be on here all day, all night, 7 days a week. Just all the time. And it's nothing wrong with being on social media every day. But the excessiveness of it, like I'm talking hours and hours and hours, 2, 3, 4 times a day. Like, it's a bit much, especially if you really got other things going on in your life. It can be a bit much. So yeah, I have shit. Don't put me on no dockets because I ain't trying to be up on this motherfucker all the time. And then I heard somebody say they wish that some of the OGs of the sector would come back and start doing commentary. And I understand why a lot of the OGs from back in the day, or the people who were there at the creation of the B sector, don't come on here anymore. Or if they do, they definitely ain't talking about the B sector. And it's like, I would love, well, I ain't gonna say I would love, because I don't want them to come. Let me not say that. That's not what I'm trying to say. What I'm saying is, it would be nice if they were back here, talking about a little shit, every now and then or whatnot. But I understand why they don't. Because a lot of OGs been through a lot of shit. They had their good times and they had their bad times in the B sector. And sometimes the good times can outweigh the bad times, and then sometimes they don't. I can't say for sure why a lot of the OGs are no longer doing B sector content, but I know for one thing, a lot of them have said, growth. They got tired of the bullshit, got tired of the doxing, the fighting, the repetitive beefs, long standing repetitive beefs, people being threatened, stalked, harassed. It's a lot of reasons why somebody would not want to come back and do commentary in the B sector. So I get it. I really do get it. So, shout out to the ones who are still here, and shout out to the ones, who are not here. You gotta do what's best for you. So that's all I gotta say on that. Now, I did see something go down the other day, and I didn't quite understand it, but this is the last thing I want to talk about. I didn't make no notes. I just wrote down some things that I wanted to discuss. But yeah. So I did see something go down the other day, and I was like, what the fuck? So they've been discussing Room Shaker and 1600, or whatever her name is, 1600, and accusing Room Shaker of scamming the girls with 1600 supposed to have sold her YouTube channel, or took her money and didn't give her money back. I don't know the whole story, but I didn't know that you could like give away channels or sell channels or nothing like that. I didn't know that you could do that. Like, somebody told me that you're not supposed to be able to do that. Then I heard this morning on LaDon's channel, because she had Room Shaker up there, and also Shelly was up there, as such to say, and they were discussing, can you do it? Can you not do it? And I guess evidently 1600, which I don't understand either, why you would want to take over somebody else's channel or buy their channel, and when you have your own channel, I'll never understand that. I mean, I guess if a channel had maybe 50,000 subscribers, 100,000, a million, I mean, child, you can grow your own channel if you try. You can grow your own channel if you try, even if you don't grow it in the B sector. You know, there's other things that can be discussed. There's other topics you can discuss. If you got hobbies, if you got talents, if you can cook, if you can, you know, just some people do TV show reviews, food reviews, restaurant reviews. It's so many different types of material that you can put on your YouTube channel besides the B sector. But anywho, I guess she wanted to purchase one of Room Shaker's backup channels or whatnot. And then so I heard this morning that if your channel is connected to like a LLC or like a business or something like that, then you can't do that. But if it's not, and I'm like, oh, I still don't know, child. I just wouldn't want to do it. I wouldn't want to do it, and I'm not saying that you wouldn't be able to trust the person, the content creator who's getting rid of the channel, but from what they saying, the lady didn't give Room Shaker all the money, and then somebody else wanted to buy the channel. They wanted to pay more, so the Room Shaker was going to go with that person money, but then the 1,600 wanted her money back, and they accusing Room Shaker not giving the money back. It's been a lot of shit, and then it's been a lot of shit going on. I'm like, Room Shaker child, what is you doing out here in these screens, girl? Because not only that, but the shit with Lovely Love, oh my God. That shit had me in tears. Not the fact that they thought she was deceased. Because I am thrilled to hear that Lovely Love is not deceased. That she is fine. She might have been going through some things. Life been life and, you know, health, family, you know, whatnot. But Lovely Love, she put a post on her wall. Basically, I guess it got around to her because people were looking into her life and trying to find out if there was obituaries, trying to find out if something happened to her, and people were trying to make contact and, you know, shit like that. And so Lovely Love, she did, you know, make a post on her wall 5 days ago because Room Shaker, well, KRN, which I did miss KRN doing those call-in shows. I love KRN's call-in shows. But KRN popped out on us and did a call-in show, said he won't be live again for like 5-6 months. But during that call-in show, Room Shaker had dropped down in the chat and said, Lovely Love dead or something like that. It wasn't a question. It was just like a Lovely Love dead, something like that, right? And so people started texting or messaging KRN while he was live and talking about it in the chat. And so people started getting concerned and trying to search and find out. And, you know, if she was really passed away, because I guess Lovely ain't been live in a lot. It's a lot of people that haven't been live, you know, a lot. And so people started, you know, checking. And so they found out that she wasn't deceased. And so people was coming at Room Shaker for putting that narrative or, you know, in the chat. While King Roman had like 700, 800, 900 people. I don't know how many people was in there, but it was a lot, you know, in his chat. And so when I heard about it, I didn't even know. I mean, I didn't know that anybody put anything in the chat because I've never been like a chat reader. You know, if somebody tags me, I'll respond if I'm still in the chat, but I'm not one of those people who read all the damn comments in the chat. So I didn't even see that. I just heard King Roman say, Lovely Love is dead. When he was live, I was like, what? And then some people was like, why would King Roman even read that if he didn't know for sure? Why would he even repeat something he read like that? And then people was coming at Room Shaker for putting it in the chat, and Room Shaker got on Jay Dunn panel. Child, she got on Jay Dunn panel because Jay Dunn had just went off on somebody about also saying that Lovely was deceased. And so after Jay Dunn went off on somebody because I guess the girl had got into it with Jay Dunn before, or had accused her of, doxing or doing some shit like that. And so Jay Dunn was like, "Oh, one day y'all telling me I'm doxing, y'all telling me this, and then next thing y'all want me to dox, y'all want me to find out." Because the girl had asked Jay Dunn to find out if Lovely was, really deceased, and Jay Dunn was like, "Why the fuck would you ask me that after, I just cussed your ass out because of such and such you said about me a little time ago?" And that was really funny because I'm like, you just get into it with somebody, then you go say, "Oh, could you find out if Lovely's really deceased? We accused you of being a doctor before, but right now we need you." That's how Jay Dunn was probably thinking, like, "Oh, y'all need me now. Y'all want me to do something. Y'all keep accusing me of doing." But anyway, so Jay Dunn cussed that girl out 7 ways from Sunday. Then Room Shaker hit the link, and Jay Dunn, after hearing Room Shaker says she just did it because fuck Lovely Love, she don't care. She said she didn't know if it was true or not. She didn't care if it was true or not. She don't like Lovely Love, and so she was just like, she just put it in the chat. And so a lot of people been coming for Room Shaker after that. Like, why would you do that? Even if you don't like somebody, why would you do that? And then Jay Dunn was like, "Well, I understand because there's certain people that I would spit on." I'm not saying she said this, but basically, if you see somebody burning up, you wouldn't spit on them. We all heard that expression. And again, I'm not saying she said that. I can't remember what she said exactly, but I'm just using a scenario. Like, you hate somebody so much, you don't like somebody. If they was thirsty, you would give them water. If they was on fire, you would spit on. One of those type of situations. Jay Dunn was like, "I understand. There are certain people I feel like that the same way you do about Lovely, and I wouldn't give a fuck if they were dead or alive. Wouldn't give a fuck if they were dead or alive." So then people start coming at Jay Dunn because they feel like she didn't give her the same pressure as she did the other chick. And I don't know. When it comes to the deceased people, we have been hearing lately over the past year or so, different people saying such and such has passed, such and such as this and such as that. Then we find out they are yet alive. They are yet alive. So I think we do have to be careful sometimes when we spread in these rumors like that, because I don't want to speak death on anybody. I don't care if I like you or don't like you. And that's not referring to you too. That's just in life in general. Even if I got into it with somebody in real life outside of social media, I don't wish death on nobody. Now, if you really, really did me some harm or did my family some harm or fuck with one of my kids, some really detrimental shit, that might be different. But just because we got into an argument or, don't see it for each other, hey, you do you, I do me. You know what I'm saying? God bless you. God keep you. You know how they used to say in the old Pentecostal church? God keep you. Okay, as the Lord watch between me and thee, while we are absent one from another. If you know, you know. If you know, you know. Okay, we used to have to say this long spiel after every church service. After every church service, we used to have to say that long spiel. May the Lord watch between me and thee. I don't even know who made that shit up, but we used to say that all the time when we was growing up in church, and I had it memorized. But basically, that's how I feel about some people. Like, you know what? You do you, I do me. But yeah, but it comes from a Bible verse. It does come from a Bible verse, but it was a long spiel that we used to say in church. But anyway, so I'm glad Lovely Love is not deceased. She did make a post on her wall 5 days ago that said, "Hey, my beautiful people, thanks for caring. I'm okay, just taking care of business, taking care of my health, and living, enjoying life." Lovely said, "I appreciate each and every one of y'all. Thank you." She said, "Thank you. I will be coming back. I'm just chilling, relaxing, and having fun with family." And she said, "Happy 4th of July." So this was like, a while ago when she made this post. And then she said, "P.S. Please enjoy the real world. Why you can't..." Hold up. Let me make sure I read that right. Okay, she said, "Please enjoy the real world while you can. Don't take your health and life for granted. Keep good people in your life journey. I miss y'all. Lovely forever. Don't put me in the grave yet. God is not ready for me. Amen." So that's what Lovely put on her wall. I was so glad to hear that she did respond. Not like she had to, because you definitely don't have to. Even if somebody's putting you in the grave and you're not in the grave, you definitely don't have to respond. But I think because of how much people were concerned about it, she felt the need to respond. So I'm glad to really hear, because it's one thing for somebody to say, oh, she ain't deceased, and then it's another thing to actually hear or see a post. Because, I mean, obviously it's her on her own page, on her own channel that made the post. So it was good to hear that she's okay. So that's all I want to say about that. And the other thing I heard about Room, that's why I say, really shaking, what you doing out here in these screens, girl? I guess her and Nika is into it now. Child, I don't know. I heard that they said Room Shaker had been saying shit here and there about Nika and been trying to, drag her and shit like that. And I'm like, huh? What? Now, maybe I'm not okay. I told you I'm here, but I'm not here. So I do miss a lot of shit. But I tend to watch Room Shaker quite a bit. Even if I don't drop down. I've been supporting her channel. She be over here. She, for the most part, supported my channel, me and Riggs, our show, things like that. So I have nothing against Room Shaker. But I just never heard her say anything about Nika. So I could have just missed it. But when I was listening to Nika the other day, I guess people was coming to her and telling her, and Nika was like, I had no idea. I thought we were cool. I thought, she said, I didn't know the girl was slick shading me and da-da-da-da-da-da. And then Nika, she started going off, and I don't know. I guess the more and more people talking about it, the more and more Nika was getting upset. Because at first it was just like, Nika was like, child, I don't know why she over there talking about me, child. Then the next thing you know, Nika started coming out the bag, coming off the porch. But yeah, y'all go over there and check that out if y'all missed it too. Because again, I don't know where it originated, where it started. I probably just didn't see it. But back to some of the OGs. When I was watching LaDon this morning, Shelly was on the panel, and Shelly said she was going to start going live again. Now, I don't know if she's going to be live again because, somebody has said they wish some of the OGs would start going live again. I don't know what Shelly's going to be going live about. I don't know if it's B Sector or Trending News or, Life. I don't know what she's going to be going live again, but just to let y'all know that Shelly says she might be going live again. She do be over there on the TikToky, the tickety talk, how Lady Nika say. She be over there on the tickety talk or whatever, and she be getting some good views, and then she be doing like current news and trending news on her YouTube channel, and Shelly be getting some good views. So she do be getting some good views on her channel, but sometimes it is a need, or I wouldn't say sometimes, but oftentimes it is a need to have other people in the sector doing content, because for the most part, it's like really only a few people. I mean, I'm glad to see Ness. Okay, now we know we got these people in the sector. I'm in church. I'm not going to talk about this anymore. I'm saved, baptized, filled the Holy Ghost. I'm just talking shit. But, and they changed their changed a new leaf and all this kind of stuff, and they do their commentary different. But oftentimes they come back and they get back in the B sector. It's hard to lead a B sector. It's hard. I get it. I understand. We do got to take breaks sometimes. I understand that too. I take my breaks whenever I need. But it is good to see other people doing commentary. And Ness has been doing commentary in the B sector. She's been talking about different things that's going on. Jay Dunn, again, shout out to Jay Dunn, who'll be going live in the morning. She's faithfully on her, I think, Monday, Wednesday, Friday, and sometimes she pop out in between there, I guess, if she got time. But she was talking about the other day, Jay Dunn. She was talking the other day about it's a sacrifice to get up early in the morning. It's a sacrifice. I don't care what day or what time of the day, but a lot of people do sacrifice to get on here and discuss shit because, like people say, you can't just come up on here because somebody was dragging the past the other day. Speaking of which, talking about he always come on his channel talking about, so what's going on? What's happening? Talk to me. what I missed? Who did what? Who said what? Give me the tea. People's like, when you come on here, you should have something to discuss, some topics, some notes, some something. Instead of asking your supporters to fill you in and give you the commentary. So it is a sacrifice to come on here sometimes, because sometimes you have to watch a lot of people. Some people be live for 3, 4, 5, 12, 24 hours. And then for you to come up here and do a recap, of what people were saying, and you got to take notes, and you got to remember all that shit along with your regular life, your regular job, your bills and the kids and everything else that you got going on. So sometimes it is a sacrifice, to come on here, especially if you're coming on early in the morning or staying up late at night. Like Lady Nika, in Lemon's absence, has been coming on at night. Pizza been going too, because I guess Pizza got a strike. And then they said Kiki done popped out a booby on her. You know what? That damn Kiki. Kiki, are you riding? Na, 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 na. Anyway, but yeah, so I don't think the strike has something to do with that, but yeah, so Pizza was down for 7 days. Lemon, Jay Dunn did commentary, say he got 10 days in jail. Lemon swear up and down he didn't get no jail, but he was absent. So Lady Nika was, in his absence, she was, doing the late night shows and stuff, which I've been entertained by, as long as I can stay up. Because again, life be lifing over here too, and with my new career, it's a lot of training, and my mind I be fried sometimes when I get off of work. I'm telling you, I be fried. All I want is a drink, and I want to go to bed. But in between, I still been watching a little bit here and there. So Lady Nika has been going live. Shout out to her. She says she won't be doing it, too much longer, I guess, after Lemon come back or whatnot. But I don't know. And I was like, when Jay Dunn was doing her commentary and she was showing us the paperwork, I was like, oh, okay, he got 10 days. I'm not surprised he got some time. If this really happened, I'm just saying I wouldn't be surprised that he got some time for that liquor store run-in that he had. Run-in. Okay? And I wouldn't be surprised if anybody got any jail time, or community service or whatever like that. But Lemon claims that he didn't get no jail. And matter of fact, he was like hitting people links and jumping on people panels. And I'm like, well, damn, if he is in jail, did they let him keep his cell phone? I don't know. Or maybe he got 10 days, but only had to do so many for good time. Can you get good time on a 10-day sentence? And maybe they give you like 6 days or 7 days, or, take off 2 hours per day. I don't know how. But Lemon swear he didn't get no jail time. I don't know. Like, Lemon do take breaks every now and then. Every now and then he do take breaks. It's usually when something pop off or he get caught up in some bullshit. It ain't like he just be taking breaks to be taking breaks like some of us do. He usually, it's a big reason for that break. But I guess he's back. Did he go live yesterday? I think he went live yesterday. Lemon lives, I usually hear about shit that happened on his lives from other people because they be too long and they be too late and I be too sleep. Okay. So I just can't watch all the lives, even replaying. Like one day I was actually at work doing paperwork all day. And so I was listening to the B sector and I put his shit on like double speed, and I'm just working hard and not even thinking how long I've been listening to him. And 4 hours later, on double speed, I was still listening to Lemon. I'm like, damn, how long was this video? And I looked, it was like 7 hours or some shit. So even when you listen to somebody's playback on double speed, if they shit is super long, you can spend your whole fucking day just listening to one person. So a lot of times when I find out what happened on Lemons, I get the recaps from other people. You said it was 10 days suspended to probation and community service. Thank you, Gemini. Thank you so much for clearing that up. Because I'm like, how this nigga in jail, but he on the phone? I mean, now I ain't saying they can't use the phone because, people be, bringing shit into the cells, shit, all kind of shit. phones, they stuff that shit. No. Okay, anyway. Woo, child. Anyway, but hold on. Let me see if I can try to do something real quick. Let's see. Hey, is that Creole? Hey, beautiful. How you doing, boo? What up, girl? How you doing, love? I know it's been a minute since I've been live. I think I did a TV show review on Power a couple of weeks ago. I ain't even been able to stay up with Power. That's how much shit I've been doing. And then with my main gig and all these other side gigs from my t-shirts and all that kind of shit, I haven't really been able to watch a lot of TV. And when I do sit down and watch a lot of TV, I usually fall asleep before the damn show is over. I was watching something last night, and I swear to God, I caught myself nodding off, then I jump back and have to rewind. Then I nod off again, then I jump up and I gotta rewind. You ever do that? You watching the show, you keep dozing off, you gotta keep rewinding the show back to where you think you stopped. That's what I was doing last night. Then finally, I just fell the fuck asleep, and the TV was watching me. Thank you for sharing the Cash App. Thank you so much. But yeah, so yeah, you guys, if you want to donate, feel free. But yeah, so that was crazy. That was crazy. But lesson learned, lesson learned. Lemon, if he wants to take a break, let the child take a break. But yeah, I know I had heard also that somebody, was it Lady Nika, who was defending him when people were saying that he was back to drinking. And I'm not gonna condemn the man for drinking. It's how much you drink, just like in the Bible. In the Bible, people try to, and some of y'all out there, some Bible thumpers. I know Creole. She knows all about church and the Bible and all that kind of stuff, minister and everything. But a lot of people try to condemn people for what is said in the Bible, like you shouldn't do this, you shouldn't do that, you shouldn't do this. In the Bible, it doesn't say nowhere that you shouldn't drink. You shouldn't drink. It says you shouldn't be like drunk. Like drunk. Like falling over drunk. Like pass out in the street drunk. Like, waking up in the toilet drunk. Like, it don't say that you can't drink. Jesus turned water into wine, man. Jesus turned water into wine. You know what I'm saying? If we couldn't drink, Jesus wouldn't be turning water into wine and no damn wedding. Okay? So it doesn't say that we can't drink. It's how much you drink. And the only thing that I've ever discussed about limiting his drinking was when he's plastered, white girl wasted, whatever you want to call it, falling asleep, going off, flipping out, just the behavior when you're drunk. Sometimes you don't want to display that online, falling asleep, leaving your channel into the hands of other people on your platform, after losing channel after channel after channel and losing channel after channel after channel. I think he's in the running for the Guinness Book of World Records right now. From other people who lost their channels a lot in the sector, I think he's up there now. But yeah, you just got to be careful with the drinking and fall asleep on your platform and allowing people to, because when you're even if you're drunk and you fall asleep, you're still allowing other people to, you're leaving it in their hands, and thankfully when he has been drunk, nobody really like fucked up his shit, that I'm aware of, while he sleep. But I don't know, but I knew, and a lot of other people knew that he was back drinking. I mean, it all you gotta do is pay attention for a little bit. But again, I'm not condemning him for drinking. Not at all. Not at all. Some people don't want him to drink ever again. I just think don't get too drunk while you're live, because you never know. Like, have y'all ever heard that saying before? Don't drink at Facebook. And hey, Miss Ray, how you doing, love? Yeah, it's the overindulging in anything isn't right, including eating. That's what I'm saying. A lot of people try to condemn you on certain shit from words of the Bible, but it's the indulging, like the excessiveness. You know what I'm saying? But I'm not on here to condemn anybody. Do what you do. Do what you do. I'm not the judge or the, jury. But yeah. So things like that, I could tell because if you've been watching him long enough, you can tell when he be drinking. And you can just tell. You can tell when somebody been drinking. It's not just him. It's anybody. There's been a lot of people that be on lives or hit people links and be like, oh, they drunk. They sound drunk. They slurring. So it's not just him. A lot of us get on here liquored up. But there used to be a saying called "Don't drink in Facebook," and I have drunk in Facebook before. You ever be drunk and just tipsy or have too much, and then you be in your fifis or in your feelings, and you write some long ass motherfucking post essay on Facebook, and then wake up the next morning to all these likes and shares and comments. I ain't gonna hold you. I'm be honest. I've done the shit before several times. Then I wake up the next morning and I read what the fuck I posted. I'm like, I wrote all this shit. Man. So the thing I'm trying to say is, try not to get too fucked up on social media because you might wake up the next morning and realize you done something that you probably shouldn't have. That's all I'm saying, y'all. Creole like laughing my butt off. No, for real. I've done that several times. And you wake up and you be like, damn, somebody really liking my post. Like 15, 20 alerts and shit. And then you go to the post and be like, oh shit, I wrote that. I typed that shit. So yeah, I learned over time. Like if there's something that's been on my mind or something, and I'm sitting around here drinking and tipsy and shit, I ain't gonna put it on Facebook. I ain't gonna put it nowhere on social media. I'm gonna sleep that shit off, and then wake up the next morning and see how I feel about posting it then. But yeah, you gotta be careful. You gotta be careful. A lot of people work really hard for their channels, and it's really hard to grow a channel. Oh, shout out to Catherine. Somebody said Catherine got her 1K, and I went over there and looked, and sure enough, she got her 1K. I didn't even know Catherine had a channel until all this shit started happening with her talking about this pastor. Um, then we got to finding out all kind of shit that Catherine Powell has been going through, and you never know what people are going through outside of YouTube. You just never know what people be going through. But she's been on here spilling so much tea on other people and on herself. I mean, she was on here talking about her mama had the pastor had called the cops, or the pastor had her kicked out, evicted from her mama house and shit. But I was cracking up when Catherine said, they was like, why you and your mama don't get along? But a lot of people, their mamas don't get along. Hell, I didn't get along with my mama for many years. Y'all know I left in high school. Left with nothing but the clothes on my back and my book bag and my McDonald's uniform. And I was living pillow to post for years. I graduated from high school. When I graduated from high school, I was sleeping on the motherfucking floor of somebody's high rise building in the projects. So I was living pillow to post for years. That's how much I did not want to return home. Okay. So it's not, odd for children and their parents to not get along. But when Catherine said that her mother always be in her business, I was like, that's why y'all get into it? Because your mother always in your business, but you stand with her in her own house as a grown up. Now, I was cracking up just because of the way she was talking about it and the way people doing the commentary on it. Not the fact that her and her mother don't get along. But, you know, I didn't have my sons living with me when they was grown. They both happened to move out at the age of 24. My oldest one was 20. No, my oldest one was, Cam was 24. My oldest one was 22. I think he was 22 when he moved out. And Cam was 24 when they moved out. But when they was here and they was grown, I wasn't like all up in their business. But I always felt like if you're living under my roof, I should be able to ask you where you going, when you coming home, who you gonna be with, because you still my child and you living with me. I don't care if you are grown. It's one thing about your children under your roof. Now, they're on their own and they living on their own. My oldest son got a baby, my grandbaby, love him to death, love him to life. Cam don't have no kids, but he with his girl. They live together. At this time and age, when y'all on your own, no, I'm not asking you where you at, where you been, who you with, da 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 da. But I just felt like under my roof, I should know, because even if you a young adult, I still feel like in a way you're still under my care. You know what I mean? But my kids didn't have no problem with that. They never did, because I raised them like that. Where you at? Where you going? They be like, hey, I'm going over here to the homeboy's house. I'm going over here to play video games. My oldest son stopped by the other day. Just stopped by. I'm on the way to go play basketball. Okay, who you playing with? Me and home. You know, just natural conversation, not to be checking on them. But yeah, so it's one thing about when they under your roof. You know what I'm saying? Like when I was on the 4th of July, I had a cookout over here on the 4th of July. And one of my cousins came over with her kids, and one of her sons is older. He's a teenager. And he came up in the house. He was mad. He was hot. I mean, he had this scowl on his face. And I was like, cousin, what's wrong with you? What's wrong with this nigga? What the fuck? I know you didn't spank him because he's too old to get spanking. Like, is he grounded? Did you just cuss his ass out? What the fuck is going on? I mean, her son came up in my house, face all scrunched up, like he was ready to fight. And she said, oh, he mad because I won't let him go somewhere to my house because he won't give me any information and da-da-da-da-da-da. And I was like, my oldest son, it was so funny, my oldest son, he happened to be in the kitchen making himself a plate. And he said, nigga, just give your mama the deets. Give her the address. Tell her the name. What's the mama name? What's the name of the kid? What's the address? I mean, my oldest son, before I could even jump in. That's what he was doing. He said, man, all your parents want to do is make sure you're safe. They want to make sure where you at, just in case something happens, just in case they got to come kicking down doors, just in case they don't hear. This is my oldest son telling my little cousin, which is his littler cousin. You know what I'm saying? That's my second cousin. That's my son's third cousin. You know what I'm saying? And he's trying to school him. And so my cousin, she was like, that's all I've been telling him. You keep telling me, I don't know this, I don't know that. Come to find out, the boy had been going over that person's house and kicking it with that family, and my cousin didn't even know. Because finally, when he got all the information, she took him to meet the family, the parent and the kids, and come to find out, the lady who son it was, she was like, oh, we picked him over at your house before. She said, I thought it was okay. And I never met you because you were usually just not here the times that I came. And that's when I was like, fuck that shit. I hope you told that motherfucker, don't you ever come pick up my motherfucking kid unless you get the okay from me. Because I was quite appalled by that response. Quite appalled. Don't come pick up my kids from anywhere. And I don't know you picking up my kids. Because you might be a good person, but something might happen, which is the reason why kids should not be offended or feel, like they're being treated like a baby or something. If we ask, where you going to be? What's the parent's phone number? What's your friend's phone number? I had all that shit every time my kids went anywhere. I had all that shit. And if I didn't hear from you, if I didn't find, I will roll the fuck up. Knock, knock. I'll be calling people mamas and all that kind of shit. Like, for real. So I was like, who does that? What parent just goes picks up kids? Oh, your mom's not home. Oh well, let's go. Ain't never met the mom. Don't have the mom's number. No, never had a discussion about you letting kids come to your house. No, I don't fuck around like that. I don't do that shit. Mm-mm. I don't do that shit. Even all the times, as much as my kids used to have company at our house, no matter where we lived in the hood, my kids just attracted other kids. They were just we're always been just cool and friendly, and again, I'm friendly. I'm a good mom, but I'm also strict too. So even if your friends come over, they know the kids know. Don't y'all run through my mama house. Don't y'all play on her furniture. Don't you throw balls. Don't you do this. Don't you cuss. Don't you be disrespectful. Like the same way I raise my kids, that's how I expect their friends to. I don't give a fuck what you do at your mama house. But over here, my nigga, we gonna show some respect and be obedient. So, I always been like that with my kids and their friends, but they love me so much. They like, your mama cool as fuck. She funny. My kids be like, she corny than a motherfucker. No, your mom funny. She be having us cracking up. You know what I'm saying? But my sons have, okay, overall good friends, and if they ever hung around people who I didn't think was like right for them or a bad, influence, I tell them, you ain't hanging around with them. They can't come over. Nope. And you ain't going over their house. Nope. But her son was so upset, so upset. So, there are times when we do have to be in your business. But I guess if I had maybe a 50-year-old, 60-year-old child still living in my house, I wouldn't be all up in your business like that. But I still might ask you, where you going? Who you hanging out with? All right, what time you gonna be home? Okay, have fun, love you, But Catherine made it seem like her mom just all in her business, checking behind her, finding out why she going to the doctor, finding out what medication she taking, finding out this, finding. I'm like, I don't know, maybe her mother is just overly concerned for some reason. But when it comes to being homeless, child, sometimes you just gotta, you know, fake it till you make it, bitch. Fake it till you make it. When I was homeless and on the street and living pillow to post, when I left home, sometimes I faked it till I made it. I would stay with some people sometimes who would, I don't want to say turn on me, but they started treating me differently or something. I knew it was time to go. Like, but I faked it until I made it, until I found somewhere else to go. You know what I'm saying? So when you're homeless, and it is too hot in this motherfucker right now. I mean, I don't care if it's winter, snow, sun, rain, but it's hot than the motherfucker. Like I have been so miserable. I haven't been this miserable during summer in a long time. I don't know what it is about this year. I heard that it's a El Nino year or whatever. If y'all know anything about that, El Nino, whatever they call it. Um, if you know anything about that, then it's like serious weather conditions and shit like that. But look it up, El Nino. But it's been hot, like really hot and muggy and humid. It's been so hot. Like, my baby, who's my grandbaby, I call him my baby for those who know. But my baby, when he comes over, because I had a whole playground built in the backyard for him and for his 5th birthday. It's been so hot where he can't even go out there, even at night. Even at night, you can't even breathe. And then, just so y'all know, Nebraska and Iowa had the worst breathing conditions July 4th weekend. For some reason, just with the weather and the winds and the humidity and the whatever, like, look it up. Nebraska and Iowa had the worst breathing conditions for 4th of July. And we live here, so we know. Like, I kept wondering why I feel like I can't even catch my breath sometimes. Why I feel like it's like it with the firecrackers and with the fireworks and all the smoke and all the haze. It was a lot of people going to the emergency room with asthma and respiratory issues and shit like that. It was on the national fucking news. I was like, what the fuck? We made the news because of the smoke and the 4th of July shit in our hood. Like, it's crazy. But hey Liz, how you doing, boo? But yeah, it's crazy. But it's been so hot. Where and he be just getting on his parents' nerves. I want to go to Yaya house. I want to go get on the playground. I want to get daddy. I want to get on the playground. And he be calling me, Yaya, can I get on the playground? And I'm like, baby, it's too hot. Even at 9, 10 o'clock at night, it's just too hot. Just too humid. And so, yeah, he's supposed to come over today, and I'm praying that the weather be okay for him to come over because my baby hasn't been on his playground in my backyard in a while because of the weather. And I don't want him out there swinging and running up and down the slides and climbing the little fake brick wall, um, rock wall, you know, when it's that hot out there. Because he's in my care when he's over here. And his parents ain't about to cuss me out because I didn't allow him to get overheated or something. You know, one of my cousins last year, was it last year or the year before last? Oh damn, I can't remember. I think it was the year before last. One of my cousins, if y'all was there, y'all remember. I remember Charlie. I was on a panel. I remember Charlie was on the panel. I can't remember who else was on the panel, but I was live on the panel and we was discussing some B sector shit. And one of my cousins kept blowing me up, just kept blowing my phone up, and I was like hitting you know how you end the call. I just kept hitting ignore. They kept blowing my phone up. I'm like, why is they fucking calling me and I keep hitting ignore? And then finally my cousin just texted me and she didn't want to do it. She did not want to text me that news. But she said such and such is dead. I was live on a panel on my show with Charlie. I don't know if Charlie's in the bushes, but she was Charlie and I can't remember who else was on the panel. Because I remember I told Charlie, I said, Charlie, I just got some really bad news. I gotta go. I gotta go. I didn't give my ending. I didn't give my script. I didn't give, not script, but you know, my normal saying at the end of the show. I said, I gotta go. And I ended the live abruptly. And one of my cousins had just died. They had a heat stroke in the heat because they worked outside, and it was been one of those. It was a heat, you know, one of those critical heat days or time of the year, the summer or whatever. And he worked outside and he got overheated and he died like instantly. It wasn't at the hospital. It wasn't at the ambulance. He just died, fell out, and died. So you have to be really careful in this weather. In this weather. And if you are homeless and you're out here in this heat and somebody's offering you a place to stay, you know, beggars can't always be choosy. I understand you don't want to be disrespected, you don't want people to take advantage of you, but sometimes you have to fake it till you make it. I did it for a long time when I was homeless back in the Gap. I did it for a long time. And finally, once I got on my feet, I even so-called gave back. There were people who came to me homeless, who needed a place to stay. I let several people over the years stay with me. I won't do that shit anymore, though. Hey, I done done my good Samaritan time. God, you know, I don't do that shit anymore. Because the way I'm setting my ways, you can't come in my house. You can't fuck up my shit. You can't dirty up my shit. You can't. I'm not cleaning up for you. I'm not telling you to do this. I'm not asking you to do that. I'm not treating like something about some grown people. They were moving your shit, and they will like, nigga, did you cook that? You ain't gonna clean up the kitchen. You ain't gonna wash the tub out when you take a bath. You ain't gonna like some grown people, like they don't appreciate when people are allowing them to live in their home. They don't appreciate it. And so no, I don't do that shit anymore. I don't do that shit anymore. Like I don't, and I'm up in the shit. I don't like people staying with me. Period. Now it was one thing with my kids. But even now that they grown, like I've always told my kids, you can always come home. Always come home. I don't care. You can always come home. There will always be room in the inn for you if you had to come home. But the few times they did try to come back home, I'm like, are you sure? Like, how long you gonna be here? Like, do you need help with an apartment? Like, did you look at any? I'll help you with the deposit. Like, sometimes you get to that age where you just don't want to live with nobody. You like your house. Like, I can get up and leave the house and come back to the same condition. I can wash the dishes at night and not wake up to cups and shit in the sink. I can mop my floors and not come back to dirty feet marks or whatever on my like to have your own shit and live by yourself for a long time. When Cam moved out, child, when that boy moved out, I started buying all new shit around the house. I turned his room into Ace's room, my grandson's room. Ace's room is balling out. My sons was like, damn, I move out and you just, the fuck? Is this a midlife crisis? I'm like, no, shit, I've been wanting to do different things around the house, and now I can totally make the house my own. Like the man cave that the boys had in the basement, I'm turning into a girl cave. I got TVs on all the walls. See, the funny part is my oldest son, I'm about to get off of here because I've been 2 hours. But my oldest son moved out before I moved into this house, so he never lived in this house. It was only Cam who lived in this house. And so Cam, when we moved in, one of the things that he loved about the house, because, sometimes you ask your kids opinions when you're moving or buying property, especially if they're living with you. What do you think about this one? What do you think about this one? You want to go look at another house, want to make sure they get a room they like, they space, overall you paying for the shit and it's your final decision, but you know what I mean. So anyway, he loved the basement, bathroom. I mean, it's an area down there for a bar, finished basement, totally finished, plush carpet. I mean, just nice, right? Fireplace, electric fireplace. So even like if the basement, basements are colder, even in the well, actually not in the my house is pretty insulated, and my furnace and central air was brand new when I bought my house. So the basement keeps a really nice temperature in the winter. Now, if it gets a little chilly down there, he can always turn on the electric fireplace, and it just, oh my God, 5-10 minutes, and you got to turn that bitch off because it gets too warm down there. But in the summertime, air at the bottom is much colder. So in the summertime, it'd be cold down there in the basement, like really cold. And he might turn on the, the electric fireplace then too. But for the most part, it's very comfortable down there. And I had bought him brand new furniture when we moved in this house, like brand new furniture, like the living room set, dinette, end tables, lamps, all that shit. And I said, anything else you want, you gotta do it yourself because this is your man cave. Do you know that nigga didn't do shit? That nigga didn't do shit with that man cave. When he moved, I'm telling you, right after he moved, I had TVs delivered and put on all the walls. When one of the Terrence Crawford's fight night, Terrence Crawford, Bud, who's from here. Here he's born, raised in the hood. He still lives here. But yeah, Terrence Bud Crawford, his fight, the last fight, we had a fight party, and a lot of people's downstairs, TVs on all the walls. My sons was like, "What the fuck? When'd you do all this? Why you didn't do this shit when I was living here?" That was your man cave. It was your responsibility to do what you wanted to do. I bought you. I set I started it off with the new furniture, dinette set, end table. That's all I was doing. Anything else you wanted to put up, posters, pictures, TV, that was on you. That was on you. And he never did anything with it. So when he saw what all I did, when people come over here, they be like, God damn, it's kind of nice down here. So yeah, I did a lot of things to the house after he moved, and he was like, damn, Ma, You couldn't wait till I leave, huh? I was like, well, but anyway, when you homeless, especially in extreme temps like this, whether it's wintertime or summertime, sometimes you gotta fake it till you make it. If somebody's allowing you to stay in their crib. But if you absolutely can't take it, do what's best for you. But as hot as it be right now, I don't even like walking from my car to the house. So being outside homeless, ah, mm, mm. God bless the child who has his own. That's why I work 3 jobs sometimes, 2 jobs sometimes, 1 job with hella overtime. I work my ass off all my life, because God bless the child who has his own. And I'm just going to leave it on that. But anyway, you guys, thanks for tuning in. I know I haven't been live in a long time. So I hope you guys enjoyed the show. We discussed a little trending news, a little personal, transparent commentary with myself and my life. Discuss B sector. What else? Oh yeah. Don't forget next Sunday over here, season 3 from the block to the hood table with Riggs and I. We're starting season 3 after our hiatus. After we ended season 2, like every season, we take a break, take some months off. Next Sunday is going to be our supporters appreciation day for those who have been supporting Riggs and I with our From the Block to the Hood Table show. The first show is going to be on my channel next Sunday. Again, we're going to be giving away merch. And I showed y'all earlier. Let me show y'all again. Here's one of the things we'll be giving away, some coffee mugs with our, a picture on it. And this is the thumbnail that we use for our show. And this is the picture that's going to be on the products that some of y'all might receive. Again, we're going to have tumblers. We're going to have coffee mugs. We're going to have mouse pads. We're going to have Cash App giveaways. We're going to have T-shirt giveaways, things like that. So anybody who wants to participate, please know that we do have to send the shit to you. So I've never been known for doxing. Never been known for stalking, harass, anything like that. People have received stuff from me in the past. I remember one day I was watching something and TMO has said on the show, she said, I still got my coffee mug from the hood table from years ago. So I used to give out stuff all the time, on my channel platform. So never have I, did anything detrimental to anybody. So for those who want to participate, you can either come through and just chop it up with us, hit the panel. It's going to be an open panel. We're just going to be having fun. Or if you want to participate in the giveaways and things like that, do know that I'll have to send the shit somewhere, a P.O. box or somewhere, okay? But you can trust me with your information. Yes. That's a word, child. Ain't it, Kimberly Black? God bless the child who has their own. But yeah, so we'll be doing that next week. I cannot wait. I cannot wait. I love doing my show with Riggs, from the block to the hood table. What we bring to the sector is original. And the only reason why I say it's original is because within the sector that we in, most people do commentary on the B sector, including me. But what we do on our show, we try to give a perspective from a male's point of view, a female's point of view. We also try to keep it light. We try to keep you entertained. You never know what we're going to discuss. It could be trending news. It could be family. It could be children. It could be relationships. It could be sex. Okay. It could be anything, that we come to discuss. And we keep it as much as we can away from sector shit. So for us to be on season 3 and to have the support that we do, now I'm not saying we be getting thousands of views and shit like that, but we do have people who support us and continue to support us and to pour into us, and we pour into them. And people like and share our videos. They hit the links. They join the conversations. We really appreciate that shit because we know where we are on YouTube, and we know there are plenty other people that you could be watching. and tuning into. So when we come live on our Sunday shows, we really do appreciate the people, even if it is a small crowd. We do appreciate the ones who be hanging in there with us and who be joining us in the conversations. And we love the people who hit the replays on our videos. We really do. We really do appreciate y'all. So that's why, after Riggs and I discussed it, we came up with the way to show some, supporter appreciation. So that's what we're going to do next Sunday. And then after that, the next Sunday will be on his panel, and we're going to flip flop, every week. My panel, his panel, how we normally do. And we'll do that for some months, and then we're going to take another break, for season 4. And I don't know how long our show is going to run. We ain't got no network. Well, actually, I guess we do, but YouTube. But you know what I'm saying? You know what I'm saying? We ain't got no contracts. We ain't tied to no network. So, the way Riggs and I see it, we gonna ball this out. We gonna ball this out till the ball is flat. We gonna ride this out till the wheels fall off. You know what I'm saying? So I ain't saying we ending the show this season. I'm not saying we're gonna end it in 10 seasons. I'm saying we just in here doing what we do and what we love to do, which is running our show and trying to entertain you guys and discuss and talk to you guys. And it's just real cool. It's just real cool being able to have a co-host shows with somebody you really rock with, because those type of shows don't usually last that long. We didn't see them come and go. People do the co-host shows, and then next thing you know, they just don't end the show. They fall out. And then start throwing bones and tea and dragging and flagging, and I mean, we done seen it, right? I'm not lying about shit right now, okay? So for people to be able to hold a show as long as we have with co-hosting, I have to give us our own shout out and pat us on the back, our own self. So yeah, that's on that. But anyway, you guys, thanks for tuning in this Saturday morning. I might just get my ass back in bed. I ain't even gonna hold you. I done sat here running my mouth and my coffee done got cold. I might make me another pot of coffee. I don't know. Or because I don't like putting coffee in the microwave. I don't know. It just tastes different. But anyway, I hope you guys have a wonderful Saturday, a wonderful weekend. Like and share the video. Support the Hood Table if you like. $, the Hood Table 402 is the Cash App if you want to donate. I love you guys. I appreciate you guys. I miss you guys. I'm going to try to come live more often. I'm not saying every day, but I'm going to try to come live more often. And of course, next week we'll be live every Sunday for From the Block to the Hood Table show with me and Riggs. But other than that, you guys, stay safe, be blessed, remain vigilant at all times, and always remember to keep it hood. I'm out. Bye.